Welcome, ladies and gents. Chris Andre here. You can find me at BetBoxing on Twitter for boxing-related tweets, or you can upload to the channel. You can subscribe rather to the channel and get notifications whenever a video is uploaded. If you are also interested in the scientific arguments that are occurring around the narrative, the false narrative that has got you under house arrest. I'm being careful with the way I'm wording this because of the algorithms on YouTube, and I don't want the channel getting shut down. But you can also follow me at ChrisAndre6 on Twitter, where you will see a lot of daily debate and a lot of retweets from internationally renowned scientists and things like that, which will provide you, I believe, with an education, a scientific education. Alternatively, if you don't want to follow the Twitter page, but you're interested in this, let me know, and I will send you a breakdown, if you like, a pack, so to speak, of the various subheadings around this narrative and how each of the areas, if you were to talk about this narrative, say you're going to break it down into certain areas, what they say about X, what they say about Y, what they say about Z. And I will show you, scientifically speaking, using medical journals, medical articles, quotes from internationally acclaimed and renowned scientists and doctors and medical professionals. I will show you official statistics and data. I will show you pretty much everything you need to realize that the narrative you're being told is not accurate. And I'm only doing this because I care, because we are going down a very, very dangerous road, my friends, and people need to be woken up to this. So if you're interested in anything like that, let me know. If you're not really interested in science, it might get a little bit boring, but it's important. It's something you really need to know. So if you're interested, let me know. If you're not on Twitter, I can email you. I can send you something via a direct message on YouTube if such a thing exists. I think it does. Let me know if you're interested. Now let's talk boxing. Let's go to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, in the build-up to the Roy Jones fight, came out and said something very controversial. I'm sure many others have covered this now because it's like a week old. But I did promise I'd be bringing a lot more boxing content, so this is more like an editorial piece, I guess, rather than a sort of build-up to a fight or a post-fight analysis. He came out and said, wait, actually, before I go into this, let me just say that it's known on this page that for a very, very long time, I've raved about Tyson Fury, okay? I've been a huge fan of Tyson Fury's for years now. Since 2010, 11, I've been telling everybody that would listen, Tyson Fury is the guy that's going to take over from Vladimir Klitschko, and he will rule the heavyweight division. I was saying this when people were still high on David Price, and people way before AJ came onto the scene, and when people assumed that Tyson Fury was just a big klutz, he was just a nobody. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to be very critical of what Mike Tyson has said. Mike Tyson came out and said that Anthony Joshua telegraphs his punches, and as a result, would have no chance against Tyson Fury because he'd see those shots coming. Now, I'm not going to talk in this video about who wins between Fury and AJ, but what I will do is discuss Mike Tyson's comments on this. Personally, I think he's talking rubbish. Now, I've said this on another form of social media, and a lot of people went nuts. I would think that Mike Tyson knows a little something about slipping shots and so on and so forth. Listen, pro fighters get things wrong, but pro fighters can also have an agenda. Mike Tyson was building his fight. He's also said some other things which took people by surprise. He said that the YouTubers being involved in boxing is a fantastic thing for boxing because it's opening up a new crowd. So, Mike Tyson's not afraid to go against the grain. We know that. But it doesn't mean that everything he says is gospel. It doesn't mean that whatever he says is true. So let's analyze it for a minute. Anthony Joshua's punches are very, very straight. He's very, very accurate. Power punches and jabs. If he was telegraphing these shots, it wouldn't be hard for guys to bypass those shots. It wouldn't be, take Joseph Parker, a very good mover. Joseph Parker struggled with the entry point. He struggled to get inside consistently against AJ because AJ's timing was very good, and Parker couldn't just read the shot and slip it and come inside. Povetkin had a lot of success early in the fight, slipping shots and coming in and landing with lead power shots. And then when and AJ was hurt for sure. When the time of the stoppage came, I think I had, was it 4-2? Was it in the 7th that the stoppage came? I think I had Povetkin 4-2 up, if memory serves me correctly. But the point is, he adapted, he got on the back foot and started to target the body, and Povetkin was struggling then to get on the inside. the point is that whichever opponent you look at, Ruiz in the second fight, they're eating shots. These fighters are eating shots. It's not like AJ's swinging for the fences and he's missing a lot, but he can look a bit wild and things like that. You might say that about Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder, his timing's very good. He's got a lot of speed, and he's able to land those big power shots more often than not. In both fights, he was landing them against Tyson Fury. Not frequently, but he was. He did land some big right hands obviously in the first fight, but also in the second fight. Go back and take a look, especially in the first round or two. Now, but because of the trajectory of the punches, I would understand if Mike Tyson said, yeah, he telegraphs those. With Anthony Joshua, that's just not the case. I've said in the past, and like I said, I've just told you how highly I think of Tyson Fury. But I've said this in the past, from a technical perspective, I'm not talking about skill, overall skill. I'm not talking about natural ability. I'm not talking about who's the better heavyweight. Forget all that, okay? I'm just talking about one thing alone, technique. From the perspective of technique, Anthony Joshua is probably the best technical heavyweight in the division in terms of throwing punches in an orthodox manner. He's certainly better technically in terms of his punch output, the way he throws the punch, than Tyson Fury. Now, for those of you that are going to jump down my throat for this, just bear something in mind. When Tyson Fury took on Sugar Hill, one of the things Sugar Hill said is that we wanted to work on delivering the right hand more effectively and throw it more accurately, more correctly. Why would he say that, and why would Tyson Fury not question that if Tyson Fury is throwing the perfect punch? Tyson Fury is naturally very talented, and he does a lot of things that are off the cuff, and he does a lot of things that work for him. But that doesn't mean from an orthodox perspective about what's technically correct to do that he always does what is technically correct. When it comes to his hooks, for instance, they're not tight. Fury's hooks can be telegraphed. They can be quite wide, and he swings into them. That doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't work for him because of his long-range arms. If he has a tight hook, by the time he rotates that body with those long arms, it won't work as effectively, perhaps, so he's had to adapt. I'm not critical of what he's doing. It works for him. But I'm just trying to explain, if you were to look in a textbook, how to throw the correct jab, how to throw the correct right hand, how to throw the correct hook, you will see Anthony Joshua as the picture-perfect example of those things. When he throws his right hand, he doesn't lean over his right foot. He doesn't lean over his right foot. The way he turns his hips to deliver it is perfect. His jab, the way he steps into it, he'll throw it from a high position without a telegraph. Even if he's relaxed, he'll shoot the jab. It's always straight. It's always down the middle. There isn't a tail on it. So why did Mike Tyson say this? Personally, I feel like he was just trying to build up the fight. I know it got 1.5 million pay-per-views, or apparently that's what's been reported, which is obviously a big event. But nonetheless, a fighter's always got his business cap on. He's always looking, why have 1.5 million, say, when I can have 1.6? So you're always going to push and try and sell the fight, particularly in fight week, which is when he said it. So to me, that's probably the reason that he said it. I don't for 1 minute think Anthony Joshua's got, a telegraphing punch. That's not what he is. He's very, very good technically speaking. I want to know what you guys think, though. Because, like I said, I got a lot of backlash from this. So I'm interested to see what you guys... if you're following this channel, you're obviously a hardcore boxing fan. There are a lot of... And you're all knowledgeable. Even if I disagree sometimes with some of you, we can all have our own opinions, But you're all knowledgeable fans. Now, when it comes to that, obviously, it creates a scenario of me asking, is it possible that I'm wrong? I have to consider these things. Is it possible that I'm wrong? So, I want to hear everybody's opinions on this, and let me know what you think. Basically, when it comes to Mike Tyson, is he right? If so, which punches are telegraphed? If not, why do you think Mike Tyson said what he said? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Chat to you soon.